Tonight's the night. And it's going to happen again and again.
They told me not to come. They told me not to come to YouTube.
Do not come.
They told me not to do this.
Do not come.
Welcome to MAGGcast. We are here, ladies and gentlemen, and we are live. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are live here on MAGGcast, and boy, listen. I'd love to lie to every single one of you right now, but you know that I don't lie on MAGGcast, and the Mag don't lie, regardless of what some people say. But I can tell you this. I haven't been this hungover in probably 20 years. It was the most ridiculous night I've had in decades. I mean, I've had epic nights, but my God. Last night was something else. And the Toronto Blue Jays are going to the World Series to face those scumbags, the LA Dodgers. We're going to throw them right out of LA, man. Out. We are going to, hey, volts to amps, don't worry about it, dude. We are going to beat LA in 5. I'm already calling it now. You know why? Because the LA Dodgers are way too cushy. Okay, they got Ohtani, the freak. All right, whatever. They're going to shut his ass down. He's going to be gone right off a cliff. Off a cliff. Goodbye, Ohtani. Goodbye, LA Dodgers. You're not going to do any of this. That's right. You're coming to Toronto now.
Listen. Fuck up. Get out.
Get out. Anyways, we're watching that ball game last night. It's the middle of the 7th inning. It's a 7th inning stretch. For anybody who doesn't follow, American baseball. 7th inning stretch is when you get to the 7th inning, everybody stands up and they sing a few songs and everybody does these little stretches. And in most of the ballparks, of course, in the United States, they play Take Me Out to the Ball Game, the song, right? And everybody does a stupid little dance. In Toronto, we have one that's called Okay Blue Jays, Let's Play Ball. We do that. We did that. And I looked over to my brother next to me and I said to him, I go, if they don't do it on the bottom of the 7th inning, they're going to lose this game. And they're not going to make it to the World Series. Lo and behold, in the bottom of the 7th inning, the Springer Dinger himself gets a 3-run home run. As the Jays were down 3-1. They got a 3-run homer to win the game 4-3. I mean, they got the lead 4-3, and then, of course, they shut out the Mariners to win and go on to the World Series against the LA Dodgers. I barely have a voice. My voice, I could not speak for most of the day. Mind you, I was also cripplingly hungover. Went over to some one of my friends' condos in the city. We had a big party over there. Then we went out, and then we strolled down the streets and all that jazz. And then we ended up at my cousin's place, his condo in the city. And then I woke up on his couch at like 9 o'clock this morning. I had no idea where I was or what happened, man. It was ridiculous. Yeah, Little Table, you know the song, buddy. But we're not here to talk about baseball. You could stare at the Blue Jay hat for the rest of this show. And you're going to. But we're here to talk about video games. Let's talk about video games. How's everybody doing out there? We got 36 beautiful viewers out there. Maybe even a little more. Hit that like button. You know, all that jazz. You guys know what to do. I don't have to tell you. And actually, funny enough, a lot of people say to me, they're like, Mag, make sure to remind your audience to hit the like button all the time. Like, do it all the time. I'm like, what is this, the weather report on the radio? I got to announce it every 30 minutes to hit the like button? Just do it. Or don't. Or don't. Ricardo Franco in the chat, he's saying, what will happen if the Maple Leafs win the Stanley Cup? If the Leafs win the Stanley Cup, this city is going to burn to the ground. It's going to be absolutely wild. Ian Storm, thank you once again for sacrificing your sleep to join us on the show today. Always greatly appreciated, my friend. Whew. So let's talk about video games. I'm going to talk a little out of order here, okay? Because if you look at the title of the show, I put some of the next gen Xbox stuff and the Sarah Bond interview and all that stuff. That was front and center. However, we're going to talk about a couple little piddly things first. I want to get it out of the way, and I want to ask the chat a few things as well. And we're going to talk about some games. So let's talk about what came out. We got Ninja Gaiden 4. We're going to talk about that real quick. Ninja Gaiden 4 looks great. I haven't played it yet. I'm waiting till November. Everybody knows what I'm doing. I'm waiting till Call of Duty comes out. I'm going to subscribe to Game Pass for 1 month. And then what I'm going to do is that I am going to... I can't believe what just happened. Did you guys hear that? There was an advertisement. There was an advertisement on my music. What the hell was that all about? I paid for premium. They must have made a mistake. Well, I'm going to have to check that out after the show. So you know what? We're going to go without music for now because I'm not going to play commercials while I'm doing a show. That's absolutely ridiculous. Wow. That's totally wild to me. Anyways, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Let's get back into it. So I'm sitting here like talking to you guys and I'm like, why do I hear a second voice? Like, what's going on? Where's that second voice coming from? You didn't hear it? Oh, I heard it. Yeah, that's totally insane. But anyways, it doesn't matter. I can't have commercials playing in the middle of my show. What the hell happened? I paid for Spotify Premium. That's totally crazy. Did they like accidentally update payment? I just clicked on Spotify and immediately it says update payment. But anyways, it doesn't matter. We will do that. We will do that quietly while the show is playing. So, subscribe. Why did they unsubscribe me? What is the matter with these people? Yeah, Joey Abs heard it. Yeah. So anyways, Ninja Gaiden 4. I heard it's fantastic. I heard it's great. But the thing is, I also heard it's incredibly difficult. But, whatever. Incredibly difficult is fine. I'm okay with that. Apparently there's an easier mode out there, but I don't know what that's all about. We will take a look at that. By the way, I updated my payment, so it looks like you won't be hearing any commercials. How funny was that? Can you imagine that? In the middle of a live show, all of a sudden it's like, subscribe to Spotify. Anyways, I want to hear from the chat. So now it's sitting at a Metacritic at around between 80 and 82, and it's because of that, is because of the different systems it was on. So I guess like low 80s, whatever. That's really good for an action adventure kind of game. I mean, it's not really an adventure, more like an action slasher. That kind of thing. Nurse Bro, what's up, Boot? Okay, so I want to hear from the chat. Now that I haven't played it, obviously, I'm going to wait for Call of Duty Black Ops 7 to come out, and then I'm just subscribed to Game Pass for the month. I'm going to play all the games, Outer Worlds 2, Keeper. I'm going to be playing Ninja Gaiden 4, and of course, Call of Duty. And then I'm going to go back to unsubbing. Yeah, it's Crazy Kazi, exactly. Ninja Gaiden is supposed to be difficult, always has been, exactly. I mean, I grew up on that. I grew up on Ninja Gaiden as well, right? I mean, grew up. I was already a man when Ninja Gaiden Black came out, right? Like, back in the earlier Xbox days and stuff like that. I did that. Hey, Top Gamer, how you doing, buddy? So anyways, you guys in the chat, tell me who's playing it right now. Let me know what you think about it. Yeah, Literal Table, I hate ads. I'm not supposed to have ads. I paid for premium. I've been on the premium subscription for like 2 years on Spotify. And then all of a sudden I look and it says subscription canceled. I'm like, what? Why? I never even touched it. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Whatever, man. Technology is great and it sucks all at the same time, all right? So, we got Bobby in the chat. He's saying, Keeper is amazing, Mag. Halfway in something awesome, something. Oh, okay. So sick and it happens in the game. Okay, well, I'm all right. Keep it spoiler free. Keep it spoiler free. I mean, I know you did, but we'll get to that. Keeper's another game I'm going to play. You never know. I might stream it. I mean, I know it's kind of like out of the zeitgeist by like a month from now, but like whatever, man. Does it really matter? I mean, I'm going to play it anyway, so we're going to see what happens because I love Double Fine. They're one of my favorite studios in the world. You know what I mean? So, anyways, whatever. So, Ninja Gaiden apparently doing quite well, and for the people that I did speak about it, I mean, I watched a lot of videos, I watched some gameplay. It's not like there's like too many spoilers, and like, it's an action hack and slash, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, how many spoilers could there possibly be, right? I know, Bobby. I know. I'm just playing games. Magnum, welcome. Oh, Brandon Christensen, I have a streaming roadmap. It's verbal. Like, for example, like, periodically, I do Battlefield during the day. You know what I mean? Like with some community members or just myself, whoever's hanging around. And then at nighttime, of course, for this month, I'm still playing Silent Hill 2, which I will finish. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow night. Maybe I'll finish Silent Hill 2 tomorrow night. How about that? So we're going to finish Silent Hill 2 tomorrow night. And then starting Thursday, we are going to go directly into Little Nightmares 3. I'm going to be going back and forth playing with my wife, Pause. And I will also be partnering up with my daughter to play the game as well. And so I'll be doing Little Nightmares 3. And to round it off, the week of Halloween, we will be playing Silent Hill F, courtesy of 4xpgaming.com. So we're going to be doing all that. So that's going to be great. I'm really excited for all of that. So that's what we're doing for the rest of this month. Moving into the fall, into the next month. After that, we're gonna go back into some Borderlands and Battlefield while we wait for Call of Duty. When Call of Duty drops, I will be streaming Call of Duty as well. So we're gonna be doing all that. No, Noisy Mofo. There was no XNC this week. It was well, maybe. I mean, unless Colt wants to reschedule at some other point, but he didn't say anything to me. My guess is that after yesterday, there were news reports out of Seattle that Colt Eastwood threw himself out of a window. Yeah! So, that's a possibility. Listen, man, I'm not making jokes on the poor guy. I mean, he had to endure it, but hey, listen, it could have been the other way. The Seattle Mariners could have won, which they almost did last night. Right? And then it would be me crying. Right? But hey, whatever, man. This is the way sports goes. What are you going to do? But he also messaged me afterwards to congratulate me. And I said to him, dude, I am so sorry. I said, great series. I said, I am sorry, but at the same time, I am not sorry. It's just the way it goes. It's just the way it goes. Look at all that green in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. We got all these people in the chat. All that green. Those are all channel members right now. These are all channel members right now. These are all people who help support me keep doing this, keep doing more of this. And then, of course, this is going to grow. Starting in November, I am eyeballing Twitch as well. Yes, Polly Walnuts, I did play Ninja Gaiden back in the NES days. Oh, Fuzzy Tomato, you turned the game on 10 seconds before that Springer home run. Dude, I was standing there. I filmed the whole thing. I had the camera out and ready, and I'm like, I got a feeling something's going to go down. But anyways, back to business. Yes, in November, I'm going to start Twitch. And then once I start Twitch in the first week of December, I am going to be... In December, I'm going to be starting my new show that starts on Friday nights. So I'm going to be doing steady 2 nights a week. I'm going to be doing MAGGcast on Tuesday, and then my other show, which I have yet to name, which I have named for it, but I will name it shortly. I'll start advertising that in November. I will be doing that show in December, and then in the new year, I've got even more rewards and gifts and things like that, and all kinds of perks that will be coming up for the channel members. I'm also going to be doing in the new year. I'm also going to start doing some giveaways here and there for channel members. I'll be doing little draws and raffles for channel members for, gift cards, universal gift cards for like Game Pass or PS Plus, or maybe even a game. You know what I mean? I might give away some of that stuff too. It might be fantastic. We're going to see how that all goes. But either way, we'll find out. We're going to, like I said, this is an organic thing. We're taking it nice and steady, building a solid foundation, and we're going to climb from there. And we got Grumpy Old Fart. As my voice is, guys, I got to tell you, my voice is gone. My voice is gone from screaming yesterday. So if I have one of those moments where I sound like the guy from The Simpsons, would you like some fries with that, sir? The guy that works at Krusty Burger. That's kind of like what my voice is like. It's fading in and out. It's pretty funny, actually.
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown.
Like, is it funny?
I make you laugh. I'm here to fucking amuse you. How the fuck am I funny? What the fuck is so funny about me?
I know. Thank you, Joe Pesci. Thank you. Red Wolf Renegade. Mag, reward me first. Gotta be a channel member first. Yeah! That's right, Red Wolf. Anyways, getting back to the super chat. I'm sorry about that. My voice cracked. Grumpy Old Fart drops a $20 super chat, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable. And he says, have you tried the lasagna? It's my favorite. Hot fudge sundaes too. 1 year sober, no more hangover. Dude, congratulations. I wish I had your strength and your willpower. I really appreciate the $20. And by the way, I'd just like to point out that Grumpy Old Fart has also, first of all, fantastic name. Grumpy Old Fart bought me Resident Evil Requiem. On my last stream, he donated the money and he said, here you go, Mag. Resident Evil Requiem is on me.
Get in there and fight, maggot.
That's what happens, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we do here. And you know why he does that? The Mag Show is the greatest of all time. That is absolutely true. Thank you very much, Grumpy Old Fart. Thank you for the $20 super chat. And then hot off the heels of that, we got Jeffrey Garcia. As my voice continues to crack, drops a $10 super chat. He goes, Mag, you darn play bunny. How are you doing, my guy? Let's get this done, my dude. Spread the love. Absolutely, my friend.
Welcome to hell, motherfucker!
That's right. Welcome to hell, guys. Thank you so much, guys, for the super chats. Really appreciate it. The support means everything to me, and this is what makes this channel get bigger and better, and I will continue to improve. I don't take, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, I have not taken one penny for myself. Every single penny that I have received on this channel thus far has all gone directly back into this show. I have not done a damn thing. I have not bought a cigar or a case of beer or anything else like that with all the money that's come into this show. All the money that has come into this channel, I have utilized to spend directly on everything here. New audio interface for better sound, obviously. Brand new Studio Shure microphone for better sound, obviously. Maybe not tonight because the Mag's voice is in and out. Brand new camera, brand new monitor, brand new PC, all of that stuff. And that wasn't for me. I didn't buy this stuff to make, for me. I bought this stuff for us to make the show better. You know what I mean? Instead of watching me on a shitty camera with a crappy microphone and a PC that kept crashing. No, man, we're doing this all for us so that we can have a much better show and then the channel can continue to grow from there, man. You know what I mean? And there's the doctor. The doctor is saying in the chat there, he goes, by the way, that's my first cousin. The doctor. He was with me last night at the ball game, and he says the Mag hasn't slept for like 50 hours. Let me tell you something, doctor, or everybody else. I slept on his couch last night. When I said I was at another guy's place, and I ended up, woke up at like 9 in the morning on someone else's couch. It was his couch. So thank you, doctor, for letting me crash there. I don't remember much that happened past 2 a.m., but hey, that's kind of how we do. That's kind of how we do. And Snow Dragon, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, dude. He goes, knew you cared about us. I'm absolutely serious. I'm absolutely serious. I want this show to get better. I want this show to be bigger. I want more people to come in here. And, maybe it's not always positive, but I will always tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? I will always tell you the truth. Doctor, this is for you.
Tonight's the night. And it's going to happen again and again.
That's right. There you go, Doctor. A little Dexter for you. Yeah, my soundboard is hilarious. Yeah.
The Mag Show is the greatest of all time.
All right, calm down, Mario. Anyways, let's get back to the subjects at hand. So we talked about Ninja Gaiden. Looks like it's doing great. It got great reviews. The people who are playing it are having a good time. The difficulty should be no surprise to anybody. Yes, I played it back in the NES days, and then of course I played those reimagined reboots later on. That happened in the Xbox and 360 eras. I played them there. And then, of course, now onto now. I will be playing it once again in November. I'll be playing it on Xbox. GM, no. She get nothing, man. He goes, nothing for the missus? No, man. It all goes into this channel. Every penny. Every penny. And then when I buy a game, like I buy a game that I stream on the channel, obviously, it's obviously also self-serving. I buy a game and I play it myself and I get to enjoy it. However, I stream all those games. And games are $100 in Canada. Yeah, you heard that correctly. $100 in Canada.
Listen. Fuck up. Get out.
$100 in Canada. So when I play these games and I stream them or whatever, yeah, they cost money. I use the channel money from channel members, anything else. I do that. I put that right back in there, buy the game and do that. Now, of course, I've had some very generous people along the way who have gifted me games. Chronos was another one. I had 2 fine gentlemen do that. I got 4 XP, of course, with Silent Hill F. And, of course, Grumpy Old Fart for Resident Evil Requiem in February of this year. It's going to be awesome. So I'm really looking forward to that. So anyways, let's talk about Splinter Cell. We talked about Ninja Gaiden very briefly. Let's talk about Splinter Cell. It's having some troubles, but it's not coming out. Did that make any sense? You know what I'm trying to say? It is still coming out. The game is still coming, but it's faced some problems. You've already had 2 creative directors leave the project. Another one left the project. But they're not leaving the project. They're leaving Ubisoft. So it's not a Splinter Cell. See, that's the problem that a lot of people have. They try to group it all together, saying that, the creative director left or whatever else and this and that. It's not because of Splinter Cell. It's because of, shall we say creative differences between Ubisoft and, of course, their management team. So it's got nothing to do with the project. The project is still moving forward. It's still doing its thing. And it's still coming out. I absolutely assure you it's still coming out. I've seen it with my own eyes. But, like I said, there's a lot of issues between management and Ubisoft and the way they run. The company is too spread out over all over the world. There are too many offices. Not enough people are all talking to each other. It's ridiculous. Right? And as a result of it being a little bit ridiculous, what ends up happening is the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. And that is pretty typical for most corporations. Look at Microsoft. Microsoft doesn't know what the hell's going on. They're like, now that Microsoft is calling the shots in the Xbox studios, you look at what's going on with those executives. It almost feels like they're not on the same page with each other. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why is because there's too many people. There's too many people. That's just the way it is. But either way, I assure you Splinter Cell is still happening, but there are some problems up top. I can't go into very specific things that are going on with that. However, like I said, I do have an inside track on Ubisoft, as everybody knows, or most people know. And like, for example, I showed Colt Eastwood footage. Well, excuse me, I didn't show him footage. I shouldn't say that. I showed him some screenshots of stuff. From the Black Flag, the Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake. And the funny thing is, not that he didn't trust me, but he wanted to authenticate my photos. So what he did is he scoured around, he looked around to see if there was anybody, like whatever, and turns out my photos were authentic. And I'm like, of course they're authentic, dude. Ubisoft Toronto's 30 minutes away from me. And I've been there a bunch of times, but I've been there a whole bunch. Again, I can't go into details as to why I'm there, but I've been there a bunch of times as well. I've been to their headquarters several times. So anyways, the point is that, at least Ubisoft Toronto headquarters. And I've seen some things, man. I've seen some stuff. Snow Dragon drops a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. And he says this goes towards Skydome beers. Holy shit. Tell me about it. Rod, the doctor was there. And he says, Xbox dead. Oh my God, it's dead again.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Shit. Here we go again.
Thank you so much, Snow Dragon. That's so funny. Hey, listen. The doctor and I found a spot in the 500 section of the Rogers Center. It's tucked away in like in an alley, and there's no lights. None. But there's a little stand over there where there's like this Indian dude who's hilarious as hell, and this Asian girl who's also hilarious as hell. And the two of them are in that corner in the dark, and they're selling beers. They're $5. Whereas the rest of the place, they like to get the tall boys are like $17 for a friggin' tall boy. Can you imagine that? But like over there, they sell like regular size beers for $5. So in fact, it's actually infinitely cheaper. You could buy 4 of those beers for the same price as you buy for one tall boy. So you buy all the beer there. The problem is when you go over there and you buy something, the Indian guy starts screaming and singing, and he's hilarious when he does it. Oh, yeah, doctor, we were drinking beers like Stone Cold Steve Austin last night. It was unbelievable. Thank you, Snow Dragon. Greatly appreciated, brother. You got me one of those cheap beers last night. And it's funny saying that that $5 beer is cheap. But hey, you know what? When you go to a sporting event, $5 is pretty damn cheap. Anyways, Splinter Cell. Splinter Cell is still coming, but like I said, there are issues between the Ubisoft management, of course, and the Ubisoft ownership and the management. There's a lot of red tape going on. There's a lot of how can I say this without getting in trouble? There's a lot of dogmatic practices that are going on there, and a lot of rules and regulations that a lot of people don't like. That's the only way I could put it. That's the best way I could put it without actually getting myself or anybody else into trouble. And as a result of that, a lot of people leave. There's a lot of pressure on the studio to get this Splinter Cell game out. However, like I said, for example, they've got 2 Assassin's Creed games in the works. They've got Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which is basically ready to go, and that will launch very soon. And then on top of that, they've got the other Assassin's Creed, which we're just going to call it Coven because there's no official name for it. It's Assassin's Creed Coven. That's going to be the one that it's going to be about the witches, like the witches coven in the southern U.S. and stuff, and like witchcraft and like voodoo and all that stuff. Like totally wild. I'm all in on that, baby. That sounds hot. That sounds hot. I'm right in there for that. So like they got this Assassin's Creed Coven situation. Now I know in the news there was the other one where they were talking about the Assassin's Creed where there was like a slave who got free and then became an assassin. He moved north or whatever and became an assassin, all that stuff. And they canned that game because they were worried about all the vitriol and all the problems that were surrounding Assassin's Creed Shadow with what's his face there, right? So, I mean, I don't see the need to cancel a game because of what the subject matter is about. You know what I mean? I like cancel it if the game's not good. You know what I'm saying? If the game is not good. Oh yeah, Crusader. It might be like Assassin's Creed Hex or whatever. Yeah. I just call it Coven because it sounds way sexier. Nate Dogg is saying he really likes Silent Hill F. Well, you know what, Nate Dogg? We're going to find out next week, dude. The Cells is in the house. Look at all these great people. Brandon Martin. Punty's here. What's up? So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to play Silent Hill F. That's next week, the week of Halloween. We will be doing that. So, anyways, yeah. So there's a lot of issues that are going on at Ubisoft or whatever. However, the games are still coming out, and they had the one Assassin's Creed game that got canceled. That got out there in the wild. Whatever, it is what it's going to be. They still got the Black Flag game coming. They still got the Coven game coming. I'm calling it Coven or Hex, whatever you want to call it. And Splinter Cell, I assure you, is still coming. Like I said, the only difference is there are leadership problems or whatever else, but the team is still working hard on getting the game out. So rest assured, be okay with all of that. We'll be fine. The game is still coming. Anyways, enough of that nonsense. We got to talk about some other stuff. I want to talk about COD and Battlefield. Very briefly. Then we're going to get into the Xbox stuff later. The hardware and Sarah Bond interview and all that kind of stuff. We're going to get into that. As COD approaches, gets closer and closer and closer, I'm sure you guys feel it. You know, Silent Hill, Jesus Christ. I look at the chat for 2 seconds. Battlefield 6 is doing incredibly well. All right? It's doing incredibly well. A lot of people are having a great time with it. Their DICE is listening to the community. Did you hear about that? Like when they had like the progression system and everything else, and they're like, you know what, this is not really working for us, and the progression system is too slow, and this and that. And what did they do? DICE went in there immediately and fixed it right away. And they put out a patch, and they're like, there you go, we're ready to rock. That's how you do it. Now, you don't have to listen to everything the fans say. Let's be fair. Let's be honest. You don't have to listen to everything, because if you listen to everything every fan says, you know what I mean? You're trying to please everybody, you end up pleasing nobody. So, you know, you put your product out there, you do that. However, if there are small tweaks that make the experience better, then you go ahead and do that. And they have done exactly that by fixing the progression system, making it a little bit easier, whatever. It doesn't have to be Call of Duty ridiculous, where like, you know, you play one team deathmatch and you level up 7 times. That's stupid. That's stupid. I hate that. Like, that's dumb. It makes it seem like very arcadey. You know what I mean? Like Call of Duty's already become like cartoonish, arcadey anyway. However, you know, the progression system in that game is stupid. I don't like it. I mean, it's totally unrealistic. It's just like, you know, you just like continuously, and it's like what it is. You know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. Because because ABK is all together and King is underneath them, it feels like you're being rewarded in a mobile game. You know what I'm saying? It feels like you're being rewarded in a mobile game, and that's what it feels like. It feels like a mobile game in that respect. Constant rewards. It almost feels like you're not even working for it. It's almost like they're throwing it out like Halloween candy, just like tossing it. Here you go, take it. You know what I'm saying? And as a result of that, it just doesn't feel as satisfying. It's not as gratifying for me. Like Battlefield, I have to work at it. I got to get better. You know, you can even go in the community section, by the way, and you can play bots, and then you can, like, you know, boost up your score a little bit. You can actually get a couple of achievements and trophies out of there. Or you could just use it for practice. You could play against bots and stuff like that and get better before you head back out into the real Battlefield with real players. So, it's, you know, it's great. 78 how's it going, buddy? And Danny Passion's in the house? Sorry, I didn't say hi to you guys earlier. El Nini, how you doing, buddy? El Nini's saying that Silent Hill F is his game of the year. That's amazing. I'm greatly looking forward to it. So you guys are already talking about the console in the chat, eh? Yeah, all right. We'll get there. But anyways, what I wanted to say is that Call of Duty and Battlefield, now as Call of Duty is getting a little closer, the conversations are coming up. Did Battlefield take a bit of their lunch? Yes, absolutely they did. On top of that, projected sales would be a little bit different this year because of last year's projected sales were $300 million less than what they had projected. Again, I'd like to reiterate that they did not lose $300 million. That's something that a lot of people don't get right. They did not lose $300. Their projections were $300 million less. Sorry, the result was $300 less than their projection. Does that make sense? So technically, you didn't lose money. Obviously, you didn't lose money. They're not $300 million in the hole. A lot of people, like when you see those headlines, it sounds like that, right? Or comes across that way. I'm sure that's very much for the clickbait situations, whatever else. But it doesn't matter. The point is that it's not. They did not lose $300 million. Their bottom line ended up $300 million less than what they projected. Now, that being the case, you already have that. That's one thing. So now they have to project a little differently this year and say, okay, well, you know what? We projected a little bit high because we thought more people were going to buy it. We didn't realize there were going to be that many people that were going to get it on Game Pass, which is stupid because why wouldn't you? Like, you know what I mean? Why wouldn't you just play it on Game Pass if you already have it? Like, that's silly, right? Anyways, back to the point here. You got that. Now, you have a competitor finally shows up in Battlefield. And boy, did Battlefield show up. Those concurrent numbers on Steam is just a litmus test of how it's doing out there. Sales, incredibly high, in the millions. I think 7 million, something like that, already. That doesn't include, like, if they put like a little discount on Black Friday or anything else like that, whatever. This thing's going to do gangbusters, and it's already doing that. Now, the thing is, this is where Battlefield has to get smart. Now, they also got the Battle Royale coming out. So, the other thing, by the way, on the side note, speaking of Battle Royale, if you actually go to Steam, Steam achievements are already there for the Battle Royale. So, apparently, you could check out. I already checked out the achievements on Steam, and they're there. They're there. You can see exactly what they are, and when that expansion comes out. The key to Battlefield 6's longevity is going to be more content continuously coming, maps, everything else like that. And I have a feeling they got a plan. I mean, I know they have a roadmap, but they're going to also do some more events and things like that. And that's going to come into play a lot when Call of Duty drops, because they don't want to lose that player. You know what I mean? They want to retain those players when Call of Duty drops. They're like, listen, people are going to go over and play Call of Duty anyway. That's just the way it's going to be. Then, of course, you're going to see the Steam concurrent users. They're going to be doing their thing, and everybody's going to be comparing numbers and all that kind of jazz and doing what they got to do. So, you know what I mean? But the thing is that at the same time, they want to retain those players. They're going to lose some. but they want to keep people on Battlefield. That's another strike against Call of Duty. Because you're going to have people who are already entrenched into Call of Duty, having a great time playing the game, enjoying it, whatever. Or sorry, in Battlefield. And they're already doing that, having a great time, doing all this, that, whatever. And then Call of Duty comes out. Some people just skip it. They'll be like, you know what? I'm good here. I got everything I need right here. This is my military shooter for 2025 and beyond. I'm good with that. Maybe I'll play Call of Duty down the road, kind of thing. And that is definitely going to happen too. Now, that won't happen here on this channel because on this channel, I've had a lot of requests, and of course, I'll be playing with Literal Table as well. We're going to be playing some of the campaign together. I'm going to be doing some streaming for the channel, everything else. We're going to do some multiplayer online, all that jazz, right? So we're going to have a great time. So we're going to be doing all that. However, there's a lot of people out there who, A, do not have Game Pass, B, don't want to pay for it because they already bought a game. They already got Battlefield. I'm like, listen, man, I'm not going to spend another $70 US, 100 Canadian dollars to buy another shooter that are literally a month apart. They're going to make that choice, one or the other. Money doesn't fall from the sky, folks. I know Frank Sinatra sang a song called Pennies in Heaven. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Literal Table, I know. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. We will be playing it. But the thing is, like I said, is that people are making choices. And like I said, again, money's not falling from the sky, okay? Not growing on trees, folks. Money is money. And so people are going to make those decisions. And that also, actually, by the way, is also going to help drive people over to Game Pass as well because they're going to say, you know what? I'm not going to pay full price for Call of Duty because I already paid full price for Battlefield. I'm not going to pay for another military shooter. I don't have time for both or whatever else. I'll play it on Game Pass eventually. However, now they raised Game Pass by 50%. So now people are thinking twice about that. You see the conundrum? So Call of Duty is going to make billions of dollars. Let's get that out of the way right now. Billions of dollars. All right? They're going to do their thing. They're going to, be one of the biggest selling games of the year, blah, 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 blah. The same old story. We know that. Okay? If not the biggest selling game of 2025. So that being the case, they're going to do what they're doing. However, when you got a competitor in the field, there's two things that are going to happen. One, it's going to take a chunk of their money. And the other thing that it's going to do is it's going to make them try even damn harder. Because now they know that they've got Vince Zampella sniffing around at their door. Right? You got Zampella in your backyard taunting you from the backyard going, hey, Call of Duty, come on down, bitch. Parking lot, 3:30. Hi, Portal Player, how you doing? Big boy Barry's in the house. Look at this. 78, did I even say hi to you yet, brother? I'm not even really sure. But either way, I'm saying hi to you now, man. I had some other people. I had Light X in the chat. He says, Ghost of Yotei Game of the Year. I got to tell you, Ghost of Yotei is definitely up there for me as well. Ghost of Yotei is an incredible experience. I can't put that game down. When I get going into that game, I can't put it down. Exactly, Portal Player. Competition is good. So, those are the things. That's basically what I'm talking about when it comes to those games. But anyway, it's good because at the end of the day, Call of Duty will get better as a result. Maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe they won't. Maybe they just don't give a shit. I'm not really sure either way. But my feelings are they're still going to make money, but they're going to feel it. They're going to feel it. They're not impenetrable. They're not impenetrable. They're going to look at it and they're going to go, shit. We lost a lot of people this year. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people playing Battlefield 6. They're still over there. People are not subscribed to Game Pass. Some people have canceled their Game Pass. They're not playing over there. They raised the price of Game Pass, and now people are starting to think twice. And now, and then they're saying, well, I might as well just buy the game because it's actually, you get 2 months of Game Pass. You basically bought the game. Right? Don't forget there's tax on everything. You pay taxes. So $29.99 is not $29.99. It's going to be more than that. So 2 months, you basically paid the game. So people are going to like, well, I might as well just buy the game. There's nothing else I want to play right now anyway or whatever. Maybe Outer Worlds doesn't interest them. Maybe they're not a Ninja Gaiden person. Maybe they're not a Keeper person. You never know. Like, you can't speak for every gamer. Right? You don't know what people like and what they don't like. Those are important factors. Those are things that we all have to, not we, but they have to factor that all in. And people are going to have to start making those hard decisions. especially during hard times. A lot of people out there, they reach out to me all the time. And we're going to get into that when we start talking about the next generation consoles. Specifically Xbox, because we don't really know much about the PS6. But, you know, Sarah Bellin's been chirping away the last couple days. So we've heard a lot of information. We got Danny Passion dropping a $2 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. And he sends a love to the chat. He goes, I won't be active on chat. I'm driving home now. Well, thank you very much, my brother, for dropping a $2 super chat in there. And drive carefully. We need you, man. The maggots need you, brother.
Get in there and fight, maggot.
Thank you so much. Ali is in the house. How you doing, buddy? You got me live again. Yes, you did, my friend. Welcome.
Welcome to hell, motherfucker!
I hope everybody who's tuned in now, I know we got a lot more viewers than when we started. I lost my voice last night at the baseball game. I was screaming for 3 hours. So, like, my voice keeps cutting in and out. So that I'm going to be clearing my throat a lot, you know, all that kind of stuff. So it is what it's going to be, man. So I'm going to sound a little, and plus, let's not lie to ourselves. I was smoking and drinking all night. So it was a rough night. You know, we were up drinking until 5 a.m. Literally 5 a.m. It was wild. So yeah, so my my voice comes and goes. That's what happens when you party like a 20-year-old when you're 18. Sorry, when you are 18 and then you're 50 years old. And the doctor, speaking of last night, he drops a $6.99 super chat. And he says, Mag, great chat. Yes, the doctor, this is the best chat on YouTube, man, bar none. I don't care what anybody says. There's no negativity here. Everybody's here just watching the show, having a good time. You know what I'm saying? And he says, is VR gaming still a thing? Still popular? Yes, it is. It's always going to be a niche thing. It's not going to be here. But MetaQuest is doing incredibly well. They sell millions and millions and millions of units. MetaQuest 3, which you have. I saw it on your counter last night. But yes, it is still a thing. PSVR 2 is still being supported. It's not doing gangbusters, obviously. It's not selling like, you know, tens of millions of units or whatever else. And you know, some of the other ones, but you know, it's still popular enough that they keep making them and they keep supporting it. So obviously they're making money, especially MetaQuest. At least those ones are like reasonably priced, and they're wireless, and you know what I mean. Like it's like I said, it's more accessible to the common consumer, as I'd like to say, as opposed to just the hardcore, which of course we'll talk about when we get into the Xbox stuff. Snow Dragon is saying it just sound like the Macho Man all the time now. I mean, dude, listen, man, my voice will come back in a few days. All right? My voice will come back in a few days. But for now, yeah, the mag's gonna rise like the cream of the crop. Yeah. That's basically what I'm sounding like now. Welcome to the Mag Show. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got the doctor in the house, yeah, 78 Inc. And we got Portal Players talking about an announcement on Friday, yeah. That's pretty much how I'm going to sound like until like Thursday. And then hopefully my voice starts coming back. But right now, like I said, I was screaming for 3 hours at the baseball game. Like, what the hell you expect from me? Seth Monster, how's it going, buddy? Portal Player keeps asking me about Halo. We're going to talk about that probably tomorrow. I might make a video about that. But yes, there's Halo stuff coming this week, ladies and gentlemen. I know I didn't put that as a topic tonight because, you know, usually when I put my topics in there, I just kind of put in there and I put hashtag many more, you know, and much more or whatever. I wanted to keep it short and simple because I don't want to spoil anything for people. Guys, don't keep requesting me to do the Macho Man voice, okay, man? My voice is already ruined as it is. I'm gonna have to drink some like ginger tea after this show. I don't know how the hell that guy did it for his whole career. Punty, that was pretty good. Yeah, I know. My Macho Man's not bad. You got to get like the tone, right? You got to go up and down with it, right? You got to start off small, yeah. And then you got to get louder. And then what you have to do is you have to get it to the top, yeah. And then you bring it down. And then you have to waggle the fingers, yeah. And then while we're doing the Macho Man voice, we're going to go Grandpa Barbecue Game Kit, yeah. And he's been a member for 4 months. And he says, PSVR 2 Sony support invests with third-party software. Yeah. It sounds normal to me. Yeah, no. But it's not even just the sound of my voice. It's also I could feel my voice coming and going.
I'm funny how? I mean, funny.
Fuzzy
like,
Tomato
I'm
drops it
amused,
right now.
I
Listen to
make
this.
you laugh. I'm
Thank
here
you
to
so much,
fucking
Grandpa
amuse you.
Barbecue
How
Game
the
Cat.
fuck am I
Remember, for
funny?
4
What
months,
the
ladies and
fuck
gentlemen.
is funny
Thank
about
you so
it?
much for that,
Tell me.
brother.
Tell me what's funny.
Fuzzy Tomato says the key is lots of cocaine and steroids. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Hey, the beans in there. Frost. Frost. What a great character Frost was in the first Blade movie. What the hell are you doing, Frost? You're going to get our vampire culture exposed, Frost. Anyways, Halo. Sorry, I got it. Hey, man, we get distracted. We're having some fun here. That's what we do here, MAGGcast, right? We're having a good time. We're having a good time. I know I'm a scumbag.
You call yourself a man? You know you're a lying, low-life, motherfucking degenerate prick. You know that's what you are?
Thanks, Joe Pesci. You don't have to, remind me every 5 seconds. There'll be some Halo stuff this week. We all know. But, look, obviously they're going to talk about the obvious things. Let's get that out of the way. The obvious things are, of course, going to be the Master Chief. Sorry, not Master Chief. Jesus Christ. The Combat Evolved remake, whatever. Remaster, remake, all that jazz. They're going to talk about that. Announce it for PlayStation, everything else. I know Portal Player's asking about the Master Chief Collection. There's some other stuff going on there. Listen, I'm not going to lie to you guys. The Halo Studios is a fucking mess. From the top. Not the people working on the games. The upper management. And why is that? 343 is Halo Studios. Halo Studios is 343. Just because you changed the name didn't mean you changed the people that work there. Or the culture that's going on over there. There are a lot of problems. I've been hearing a lot of shit coming out of there. Right? And it's just inner fighting. That's all it is. Management, employees, all that jazz, whatever. Is it affecting the products? Not so much. But if you don't have a healthy work environment, it does make it more difficult for people to have a good time or people want to stay. You know what I mean? So there is a little bit of that. But either way, things are still moving forward. But there's no doom and gloom with the thing, with the games. But the studio itself has always been problematic. 343 has been a disaster from day one. You remember all the stories we heard about, when they were 343, and then of course they dissolve it and then change the name. Well, they didn't dissolve it; they just changed the name. I mean, that's like putting a silk hat on a pig. It's still a pig. You put a silk hat on it doesn't mean it's a gentleman now. It's a friggin' pig. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we're going to hear some positive Halo stuff this week. I didn't mean to shit all over the studio, but it's not the studio. And I know the people that work there. I've spoken to a lot of people who work at Halo Studios. Right? But there's problems with management. The way that the company is run and everything else. And then the communication between Microsoft, Matt Booty, and Halo Studios. Not good. But the games are still coming. So hang on to that. Because you know why I got to hang on to that? Because we don't work there. Okay? We don't work there. And that sucks for them. Listen, man, we can't be Superman. We can't save the world. We can't save everybody. Everybody's got to make your own decisions when it comes to that stuff. Right? So if you're having problems over there, then leave. Go find a better job. Go somewhere else or whatever else. I know it sucks, but it is what it's going to be. Or make a statement. Complain. Talk to HR. Do whatever the hell you got to do. It's fine. I can't change what's going on there. But us as gamers, I think that as gamers, don't worry about what's going on there on the upper echelons or whatever. Let them figure life out. We should focus on the games. And the games are going to be coming. And we're going to be getting the games. And they're going to be great. We're going to have a great time playing them. They're going to be a lot of fun. And finally, the PlayStation community will actually get... I'm sure a lot of... First of all, I know thousands of PlayStation players. They're already playing Halo anyway. A lot of them have Xboxes or have access to Xboxes or PCs. They're playing Halo anyway. It's not like they've never seen Halo before. They do. However, future products, the PlayStation community will now get the opportunity to get into the Halo universe, which is fantastic. The more the better. The more the merrier, right? Yeah, that's how it goes. So, that's how it's going to be. But anyways, that's that. The Halo stuff, we are going to find out. Like I said, I don't want to, talk about too much of that stuff. I already know what's going on, but I don't want to, watch it and have a good time. You know what I'm saying? There'll be some talk about it this week. However, That's that. Now, before we get into the meat and potatoes of tonight's show, we got Leo Zambrano. Greetings from Argentina. Thank you very much, my friend. I can't even raise my voice. Mag can't even do his signature yelling because when I yell, that's when I lose my voice again. Thank you so much for joining us from Argentina. Listen, greetings from Canada, my friend. Wonderful of you to come join us. See, this is the attitude I want. Brandon Christensen right there. He says 2026 and 2027, the next 2 years are going to be banger years for gaming. That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we're going to be doing. It's going to be great. That's for, like I said, for us, we're gamers. We don't work for these studios. We don't have to worry about how much. Listen, when it comes to like profits and everything else, when people ask me questions, I'll answer the questions. But I don't bring up all that stuff about profits and all this, whatever. Like, oh, well, they made X amount of money this year. I don't give a shit how much money they make. As long as they make enough money to move forward and continue providing me with a product that I enjoy to play, that's all I care about. I don't care about anything else. I don't care if Microsoft made 0.5 billion less than Sony or whatever, you know what I mean? Or, Nintendo made X amount more than Sony and Sony doubled Xbox and this and that. I don't care. That doesn't affect my life. You know what affects my life? Is if the studios fold or they don't sell well and they decide to start selling them off or shutter studios and cancel games because now you're taking games out of my hand. You're taking a product out of my hands. And as a result of that, then it affects me. So the only thing that we should be paying attention to, the chat, the people listening after the fact, the people who listen to the show later on, the next couple days, and me, and other YouTubers, we should be focusing on, are they making enough money to be able to continue to move their product forward so that they continue to give us said product? That's all we should care about. That's it. There's no mystery to this. There's no mystery to this. I don't need legalese guys on YouTube talking to this about this, that, and whatever, and telling me, or else other people who have no understanding of economics are trying to break down profits and all this kind of stuff between companies. Who cares? If that's what your channel's all about, that's great. Because then you're approaching it from a financial, angle. That's different because that's your content. That's different. That's what all your content is. But all these other guys who don't know anything about this shit and start talking about it, just leave it alone. Just worry about this. Are they making enough money to move forward? That's it. And then continue to make great games for you to play because you are a video game player. You are not an executive with that company. If you're a major investor, I understand. Because I talk to major investors. They're the ones who well, I shouldn't say that, but, they tell me stuff. Where do you think I get all this information from? You know what I mean? I'm not an insider. I just know very powerful people. And they tell me shit. Because they're there. They're there in the boardrooms. And a lot of times, some of the people that reach out from these companies, like Microsoft and some people from other studios as well, even on the Sony side, reach out to me a little bit. Nobody from Nintendo. I have not had one single person from Nintendo ever come to me about anything. But the other guys also get some of that information out there because they want me to talk about it. Or they want it to get out there. And why? Because that puts public pressure on any issues that they have with the company that they're working on. How do you think all this stuff comes out? Like, for example, this 343 Halo Studio stuff. That stuff all starts coming out. And the reason why it starts coming out, because they want us to talk about it, it puts public pressure on Microsoft to do something about it. Because someone at Microsoft is going to go, like Phil Spencer, for example, who listens to some of these shows. And he says, guys, it's out there in the open now. Management is being talked about. People are pissed off, this and that, whatever. What the fuck is going on over there? And then that's where Phil has to get in his little dune buggy and he has to drive over to Halo Studios. You know what I'm saying? He gets over to Halo Studios and he gets in his little golf cart and drives over there and he's like, what's going on over here? What's happening? Let's have a meeting. Let's talk. Let's fix the situation. And that's how you actually also get some of that notoriety and everything else out there. I spoke to somebody at Halo Studios 2 weeks ago. And I'm sworn to secrecy about what he said. But, there's some stuff coming up. Like on an HR level stuff, right? So, it is what it's going to be. But either way, they just tell me stuff, right? Because they, but sometimes, like this one, he did not want me to get this out there. So I know that's kind of contradictory to what I just said. However, he did say that when the time is right, I could talk about it, but not now, because it's a little bit, just like, for example, the other guy who just left, who says, in a year from now, when it's safe, I'll tell you all about it. Why? Is because he's getting a payout. And he's gonna wait until the check clears, and then he's gonna talk shit. And then he'll tell you exactly what's going on, right? Probably the same situation with this guy. They're not going to talk about it before that and risk their payout. You know what I'm saying? No way. Get that money first, baby. Get that paper. Make sure it's deposited in your bank, then Microsoft can't touch it. Then you can talk shit. Alex, Mag, you're finally online. I know, dude, I missed a couple days. I mean, I was, the weekend was there. And then, of course, yesterday, obviously, I was at the baseball game, and I did not go directly. Like, the baseball game, I was there all day, and I was there all night. I didn't get home till noon today. Literally noon today. Thank you, Highlander Grim. Appreciate that, buddy. Achy Throbber. What a great name. Oh, that's such a great name. I love it.
Listen. Fuck off. Get out.
Oh, dude, I love that name so much. No, I'm not kicking you out. I just think it's a hilarious name. Oh, that's so funny. Bad temper. No, and that's you see what he said. He goes, Mag, the undercover insider. No, I'm not an insider. I just say things when people tell me it's okay to say it. And then I'm like, all right, guys, this. Right? And then when people like it or not, whatever. The funny thing is, most of the stuff that I do talk about, they're like, oh, he's unproven. And I'm like, two things. I never claim to be an insider. That's number one. Number two, most of the shit I talk about usually happens a year after I say it. Because the stuff I hear about is way like in the upper echelons of what's going on. Like C-suite level conversations. And that stuff takes sometimes it takes 6 months to a year. By the time a year comes out and the actual truth comes out, it's exactly what I said. And the funny thing is, some people on Twitter and whatever else, they're like, yo, Mag talked about this like a year ago. Where's his flowers at? And I'm like, dude, I don't need him. I just know I'm right. In that respect. Things do change. Obviously, plans change along the way. And that's just the way it goes. What are you going to do? We talked about the Gears of War collection stuff, you know what I mean? It's like, well, they broke it up to sell it individually to see how it goes before bundling them all together. If it does well enough, then they're going to sell the other ones for $40 a piece. And why make $70 when you can make $120? Right? But we don't know how Gears of War Reloaded did. We don't know. I heard the PlayStation numbers weren't that great, but I don't know. I don't know the exact numbers. Microsoft doesn't talk. So we don't know what they're going to do with that. They're going to move forward with 2 and 3 as they broke up the collection. And when I said it like when I said it a long time ago, and I'm like, yeah, I literally spoke to someone who was there watching the screen saying Gears of War collection is real. It was being played. And he was standing there staring at the monitor while he was texting me. And I'm like, okay, cool, that's awesome. And then it wasn't for like a long time after when it finally came out, then everybody forgot about me, right? They're just like, wow. Other people said it now, so I don't get any credit for it, but I don't need it. I don't want the credit. Fuck them. Don't need the credit. And I'm not looking for the clicks and notoriety for that reason. I'd rather have my clicks and notoriety be for my authenticity of how I feel about the video game industry. And that's where I'm going to keep moving forward. But if I have information, I'll tell you. That's just how it is. Like little nuggets of stuff, really. You know what I mean? Nice, Alex. Good. They are so secretive, I know. Ali, he's saying playing Ninja Gaiden and listening to you. Hey, and listening to you, yes. Ali, let me know how Ninja Gaiden is. I've been asking the chat. I said, like, I want to know what you guys' personal feelings on it. And then people listen after the fact. Put in the comment section. I want to hear how they're going. And my impressions. Thank you, buddy. And 78 Ink. Yes. Agreed, Mag. Yeah. That's all, you know what I mean? So, anyways, whatever. So, like I said, Halo stuff we'll find out about this week. It'll be exciting. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. And like I said, stay positive. Think about the positive things. Now we're going to talk about the big boy stuff. Let's talk about Sarah Bond. Let's talk about what happened last week. Let's talk about what happened this week with a new interview and all that kind of stuff. She's really been out there front and center doing a lot of talking. I made a video about it last week when I was talking about the handhelds and stuff like that when she did a little thing on Good Morning America. And I talked about that, and then I got into the, basically I'm saying, by the way, just so y'all know, this is a glimpse of what you're getting in the future. If you think that something else is coming, you're absolutely wrong. And I'm like, this is what's coming in the future. It's just going to be a box as opposed to a handheld. Right? And I said that handheld is literally the prototype for the box. And I'll get into the reasonings why. And I know exactly what they're doing. Because like I said, spoken to people over there. I know exactly what their plan is. The plan is this, folks. They wanted to sell enough of this hardware of the ROG Ally. And the reason why, they knew that a very enthusiastic, very small, concentrated group of people, which I consider the 5% of the 15% hardcore, they're basically prototyping this to see how it goes and see how it goes over with this community going into next generation. Because they're basically going to make a desktop version of that. That's going to be your next Xbox. So, that being the case, Sarah basically was not only just alluding to it, she was practically giving you the answer directly in front of your face in the new interview. She hinted at it with Good Morning America. She's walking around. She's like, and she kind of confirmed, and she did confirm. And she's like, this is where we're going to be prototyping our next generation Xbox consoles, blah, 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 blah. Right? She did all that jazz, did all that talk. And then, of course, they talk about the ROG Ally. And that's great. And they're like, okay, so you got confirmation. Something's coming out at some point and whatever else. Right? So Seth Monster's saying it's great. Are you talking about Ninja Gaiden or are you talking about the ROG Ally? Let me know in the chat. So, this is a prototype. Like I said, the ROG Ally is a prototype for the next Xbox, which will be the desktop version of the exact same product. So they wanted to see how the hardcore were going to deal with it, right? They sent them out for free to a bunch of influencers and stuff like that. That's great. And then you've got the 5% hardcore in there. Of the 5% of the 15% hardcore. Okay, so like the way I like to break it down, guys, is that 85% are casuals, okay? Those are your Call of Duty players, your Fortnite players, your Madden players. You know, they play once a week, maybe a couple times a week, whatever else, that kind of thing. And then you've got the 15% hardcore who are on every day or whatever else. However, there's a subsect in that 15%, and that's the 5%. And the 5% is the extreme hardcore. And these are the guys who will go out and buy all this stuff, no matter what. Elite controller, $400 or $300, go. I'm going to buy it. You know, this ROG Ally, $1,000, I'm going to buy it and whatever. And there are people out there who do that stuff, and that's totally fine. That you can do whatever you want. It's your money. And then whatever makes you happy, that's great. So that 5%. So what they did is that this was basically a litmus test for that 5% to see and feel how things were going to go moving forward and where people are going to go. And they're going to look at that and they're going to see the trends. Microsoft works on analytics. Remember that, folks. They work on analytics. They're going to say, okay, well, out of this many million of people, we noticed that 4 million people migrated to PC, which is great for us because then, you know, less hardware to worry about. However, they're still in the Xbox ecosystem. We have people playing on the last-gen consoles. And they have people on the current-gen consoles, which we will support for another 6 years. And that's gonna be great for them. Right? And all that kind of stuff, right? So that's how they're going to work that. And they're like, now we got the ROG Ally out there for that 5% of the 15% hardcore. And we're going to see how they like it. Are they enjoying this experience or whatever else? And then from there, they're going to take that feedback and they're going to put that in the desktop version of the ROG Xbox Ally. And they're going to tweak it and make the experience a little bit better. However, there's a big catch to all this. We can talk till we're blue in the face about all this shit. The thing is, at the end of the day, is who's going to buy it. And I don't mean that in a nasty way. I don't mean that in a bad way. What I mean by that is I'm actually asking a legitimate question. Who is going to buy this? Because of the price. And I can tell you that right now. What Sarah Bond talked about in that interview earlier today, it sounds like this thing is going to be, as we all suspected, a desktop PC with Xbox integration. The same as the ROG Ally. And it's going to be very expensive. If the handheld is $1,000, buckle up, kids. And you got to listen to her words. She basically told you without telling you. Bad Temper saying, Mag, thank you for always being honest. I am. I try. Well, at least I try my damn best. Crazy Kazi, it is going to be a PC. And that argument's going to carry on forever. Andy Hart is in the chat. How you doing, buddy? Look at all that green in there. Ion Storm says he says I'll be getting one. And that's totally cool. I would never stand in the way of anybody having a good time. I said, listen, man, I had a bunch of maggots out there who reached out to me, by the way, speaking of the Rog Ally, and they said, dude, I got it. Check it out. I'm going on vacation or whatever, and send me pictures. And I'm like, tell me how it is. Tell me how much fun you're having, whatever. Give me your reviews. I want to know. And it's not because I want to know for some like console war horse shit. It's because I actually legitimately want to know. I want to know how, like, are you enjoying it? Was it worth $1,000? Or whatever else. Or if it's not worth it, you're going to keep it, you're going to return it. What is it? Like, I want to know how people feel about these things because I'm not buying one, so I have to live vicariously through you. So I would like to know how these things, you know what I mean? Cam Wright is saying 1200 easy. Yeah, you're probably not wrong, dude. Volts to amps. He speaks that corp talk. Yeah, dude, no, trust me. I've been working in a corporation for a very long time. I know how these people operate. I know how they operate. And when they say things, first of all, rule number one when it comes to a corporation, don't believe anything they say. Second thing is dissect their words because their words are very deliberate. When these heads of corpo come out and talk, their lawyers are literally writing their speeches for them. Maybe not lawyers, but people are writing their speeches for them and saying, these are the key words we want you to say this, that, and the other. And therefore, we're not technically lying, but we're bending the truth just enough. But at the same time, it's said in a way it comes across as deceptive. That's just the nature of corpo talk, right? And that's just the way it is. I mean, what the hell are you gonna do? You either do that or they throw you out. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. So you gotta toe the line, but you have to say things very specific. Now, getting into specifics, let's get into that right now. Quote, this is from Sarah Bond from the interview earlier. The next generation, this is a quote, the next generation console will be a very, I'm going to emphasize words for everybody, a very premium and high-end curated experience. You could full stop right there. I will give you the rest of the quote in a minute. Let's break that down. The next gen console will be a very premium. Very premium translates to very expensive. Remember the lawyer from Jurassic Park? Is it heavy? Yeah. Then it's expensive. Put it down. Put it back. Very premium is the corpo bullshit translation to very expensive. Exactly. See, everybody in the chat gets it. Everybody in the chat gets it. Y'all get it. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not vilifying her. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just telling you what she means by saying that. Some people, idiots, usually, right off a cliff. But anyway, when you get idiots out there,
You are an idiot. You don't know anything. You don't know squat, you stupid idiot.
Idiots out there will take my word and take it as hate. And I'm not hating on anything. I'm just saying what it's going to be. If it's expensive, it's expensive. Whether you choose to buy it or not, it's entirely up to you. Just like the ROG Ally. I never shit-talked the ROG Ally once. Not once. Not once. The only thing I said is that at a price tag like that, you were locking out more than the 85% casuals. You're locking out the 10% of the hardcore as well. So now you've limited yourself to 5% of your player base. And when the sales come out, you'll see I'm 100% correct. You'll see. You'll see I'm 100% correct. I know numbers. And I know exactly how this thing is going to perform. And when you see that, pull out your calculator, do a little math, and then you'll find out that you were appealing to 5% of your 40 million, 35 million, however many people you have in the current ecosystem. Not the whole ecosystem. I'm just talking about like in the console side of things. But you see what I mean? That's how it's going to operate. But anyways, we're getting off topic there. Let's get back to her quote. The next-gen console will be a very premium and high-end curated experience. High-end, once again, means it's going to be a powerful machine. This is what she's trying to tell you. It's going to be powerful, which is fantastic, if you can afford it. And it's going to be very expensive. Those are two guarantees. Those are two guarantees. It's going to be very expensive and very powerful. Fine. If you buy it, you buy it. If you don't, you don't. You go to PC, say, fuck it. I'm just going to go to PC. It's actually better for me over there to just do that. However, you'll still be able to do it. I mean, basically, it's going to be like a pre-built PC anyway. So if you want to do that with less fuss, there'll still be some fuss, but not as much fuss as like building your own PC from the ground up, right? So doing all that, you'll still be able to access your PlayStation games on there, on Steam, because they'll probably have the Steam just like they have with the ROG Ally now. They're going to have it there. So you'll be able to play Xbox games, delayed PlayStation games. You're not playing day one nothing. So get that out of your head. Never going to happen. PlayStation games you can play on there that are on PC. You can play your Xbox games, Game Pass, whatever else. So you can access it all there. And if that is worth it to you, then fantastic. Then you get what you want. Perfect. I'm happy for you. I really am happy for you. I'm not going to shit talk any of that stuff. I'm happy for you. If that's worth it for you, you want to spend that money, great. It's just like, am I going to go shit talk a millionaire because he bought a Ferrari? If it's value for him and he saw value in buying a $450,000 car, $500,000 car, great. Are you enjoying it? Yes. Okay, well then go enjoy it. Why would I talk smack about it? Why would I talk smack about the Xbox next gen plans? Is it going to sell a lot? No. I spoke to somebody in Microsoft about 6 months ago. I think it was in the summer, early summer. So let's say between May and June. And he told me, and this is a fact, he told me their inner projections for the next gen console is going to be between 10 and 12 million units sold. I don't know how, over what period of time. He didn't say lifetime, but he said 10 to 12 million units was their projection for the next gen console. They already knew this was coming. It's not like they made the plans to make this hybrid PC thing like yesterday. They've known about this for years, right? So when they make these projections, they already know what it's going to be priced at, how it's going to work out, how much they think they're going to sell based on that price point and whatever else. They've done all that work. And then the dude came and told me that. Right? So he says between 10 and 12 million. So now, if you take the words that Sarah Bond had just said, very premium and high-end curated experience, now it's making sense. That 10 to 12 million, which I thought was too low, I'm like, nah, dude, it'll be at least 20, 25. I mean, like, you've got a pretty dedicated Xbox fan base out there that will continue to buy Xboxes no matter what. And then she says that today, and I'm like, you know, that 10 to 12 million is starting to sound about right. Right? It's true. Now it's starting to sound like that makes a lot more sense. So now in retrospect, when I look back at what he told me months ago in the late spring, early summer, and I'm like, you know what, dude? That makes a lot of sense. Alex, a member for 2 months, sends a member chat saying Bond. She says that we sold out on the Xbox store. Yes, she did. Once again, and this is not hate or any shit like that. King Webb, do what you like as a gamer, right? That's what I'm talking about. Buy what you want. If PS6 is $2,000 next generation and someone buys it, I'm not going to shit talk them. I'll be like, hey, man, you enjoy it? Great. You having fun? Great. You can afford it? Great. But don't expect everybody else to do what you're doing. It's just the reality. Not everybody can afford that. Getting back to Alex's member chat. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. We sold that on the Xbox store. Once again, be careful of the corpo speak. They said we sold out worldwide and then on the Xbox store. How many do they have? Right? How many do they have? We don't know. Maybe they had 50,000 units. But it's great for headlines, isn't it? Because if you actually go to Google and you check out, you type in ROG Ally X or whatever else, when it came out, Never mind the reviews and all that stuff. When they're talking about all that stuff, what are they talking about? What do they say? Xbox ROG Ally X sold out. Right? That's great for headlines. See, that's a brilliant PR move. You put a limited amount on the Xbox store, sell it out to pre-orders, whatever else, for that 5% hardcore, right? And then you get headlines like that. And it wasn't just one media outlet that reported. I saw it on Google. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All saying Xbox ROG Ally sold out online or whatever the fuck it said. And the thing is, I went to my Best Buy. They had 5 sitting right there. Nobody bought them. They're just sitting there. Asus.ca, the Canadian website, they did not sell out. BestBuy.ca did not sell out. Best Buy Physical did not sell out. Right? I mean, I know I'm just like a small portion of it because I'm in north of Toronto, Toronto, Canada, but it doesn't matter. But no one's going to pay attention to that. What they're going to pay attention to are those headlines. And that's why, Alex, thank you for that, member chat. That is why they say and do things in a very specific way. So that you can manipulate the headlines. That is their goal. That is their... Dave Chappelle said it. We live in the age of spin. And that's what you do. Nintendo's been doing that playbook for decades. What does Nintendo do? Except for this generation of Switch 2s, they actually had like a shitload. And the reason why they had a shitload is because they wanted to get ahead of the possibility of Trump tariffs. Right? So they got a whole bunch of them out there way before. However, if Nintendo got their way, they would have done the same horse shit they've done for generation after generation after generation after generation. And what do? They create a fabricated shortage in order to build more hype and demand for the product. They've been doing it with the NES Minis. They did it with the Switches. They did it with the Wiis. You know what I mean? And and back and back and back. And they do all that to build hype. Because they know that people are going to be like, oh my God, I can't get it. I need it. I need it because I can't get it. That's how you get into the mind of the consumer. And that's what they're doing. ROG Ally X, they're taking a page right out of Nintendo. Same shit, different hardware. And like I said, I'm not smack talking it. I'm not talking crap about it not selling out, whatever. I'm just telling you how they worded it because they wanted a very specific result as the reason why they worded it the way they did. And that's a very important thing that you have to remember. It's another great example of how to dissect what a corporation does. And you should do that as a consumer because it's your money and you decide what to do with that. You have the power, not them. You have the power. Starting to sound like a Martin Luther King speech. But you know what I'm saying? You have the power as the consumer. It's your money. You decide what to do with it. So what you need to do is you have to look at the reasons why they're doing what they're doing, how they're doing it, and you look at that and you dissect their words and say, okay, this one is telling me the truth. This one's completely full of shit. Which 9 times out of 10, it's option number 2. They're completely full of shit. And so that's all. That's how they operate. Have you noticed? Let me give you another example here. Have you noticed that Sony hasn't said squat about anything? Do you know why? Because they don't want people to dissect their words. They don't want people to break down their interviews and this and that. They had Dana Carvey come out, their church lady, did his little thing about the PlayStation 6. Right? But did they say anything else? No. And the reason why they're doing that, why do you think they let Microsoft go and do that? They're like, yeah, let them go. Because everything that Microsoft says gets dissected, pulled apart, thrown on a table like a jigsaw puzzle, and then everybody tries to piece together. Sony's not stupid. You know what they do? They don't say a goddamn word. They're just like, no, just shut up. Just shut up. Let them step on rakes. We're fine over here. We're going to keep doing it. And I'm not saying that what they're doing is great. They raise the prices of their consoles too. Right? And once in a while, they do a price hike on PlayStation Plus or whatever else. But for the most part, they keep themselves quiet and they don't make as many moves as like Microsoft is making, which of course, what does that do? Puts way too much spotlight on you. allows people to scrutinize you more. You know what I'm saying? And you're getting sweat under the lamps on a regular basis. And that's why Sony doesn't talk. I'm not saying what they do is right all the time. They're a corporation too. I don't trust them either. I don't trust Sony as a corporation. I'm just telling you that they're playing the smarter plan by not talking too much. That's, you know what I mean? What did your parents always tell you? What did your parents always tell you? You know, when you're in school, you're hanging out with your friends. You know, you bump into a bunch of dudes, you know, who don't like you. So what do they always say? Keep your mouth shut. The less you say, the less trouble you get yourself in. Keep your mouth shut. Right? Just a fact. That applies to business as well. Andy Hart drops a £5 super chat. That's British proper money. Thank you, my friend Andy. He says, I still wish they had used the Series X to its potential. No shit, right? This gen being quite disappointing. Both Series X and PS5 not fully used to potential. Well, thank you very much, Andy Hart, for the £5 super chat. Proper money. You are absolutely correct. However, I'm going to counter your statement, which I agree with your statement 100%. However, the series consoles, specifically the X, I guess, more so than the S, will be supported well into the next generation. So anybody fear not. If you don't have $1,200 US lying around or $1,000 US lying around to buy a next generation console, rest assured your series consoles will still be supported for several years to come. So you will not have to buy a new console in 2 years if it's not within your means. That's totally fine. You can get one down the road, maybe for a cheaper price, God willing. But I can assure you this, that the series consoles will be supported into the 2030s. So don't worry about that. However, if you want that extreme, high-level experience, as just like she said, high-end curated experience, then you're going to have to pay for it. That's just the way it is. You know? If you want 120 FPS, 4K, and ray tracing, all that bullshit or whatever, you're going to have to buy a PC with a graphics card that can power a space station. Right? They exist, but you're going to have to pay for it. It's kind of like what Sarah's talking about here. So I think that as the generation goes on and then begins to dwindle and then, of course, goes into the next generation, the Series X and the PS5 will still get used to more of their potential as time goes on as well. But thank you very much, Andy Hart. I really appreciate that, buddy. Grumpy Old Fart drops another $5 super chat. My goodness, losing my voice here. Can you tell us more about the emulation project from Xbox for ROG Ally and the next PC Xbox? Whoa. Dude, that is a heavy... King Webb, how you doing, buddy? That's a heavy question. Arrow Nation's in the house. Serenity. It's a great name. Oh, Magnum, be nice. Magnum drops a 1 month. Magnum being a member for 1 month, he drops a member chat, and he's saying Xbox is dead. Oh no.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Here we go again. Magnum, be nice.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Listen, man, it's the Mag Show. Listen, it's the Mag Show. Everybody's allowed to have their opinions, and you say what you want, and I always respect it, whether I agree with it or not. I will always respect it. You're free to say what you want in this chat, and of course on this channel. You sounded like Tony Robbins, Magnum.
You're a fucking choir boy compared to me. A choir boy.
We all respect each other here. Magnum, you messy. Sam Bain, that's basically what I was just talking about, dude. So let's get back to her quote. So now I think that at this point, I think everybody here that's been listening to the show can agree that it's going to be very powerful and very expensive, right? We can agree on those things, I think, for the most part. Maybe not everybody will agree. But I think for the most part, I think we can agree that those two things are pretty much fact, judging by that first sentence. I'll read it again for anybody who's come into the chat late. The next-gen console is a quote from Sarah Bond. The next-gen console will be a very premium and high-end curated experience. Now, let's read the second half of her statement. The second half of her statement is as follows. Quote, you're starting to see some of the... This is key. You're starting to see some of the thinking we have in this handheld. But I don't want to give it all away. Don't worry, Sarah. You don't have to worry about giving it all away. You just did. As I had already said, the next console is going to be a desktop version of the ROG Xbox Ally X. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts. I almost said penis.
Oh!
Andy Hart drops another 5-pound super chat. Listen to this. Look at this guy. Wild man. Thank you so much, by the way. The pound is proper money, ladies and gentlemen. Proper money. Andy Hart says, my mother always told me, a still tongue in a wise head. That's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. You hear that? Still tongue in a wise head. That means, translation for anybody who didn't understand that, keep your goddamn mouth shut. King Webb, that AWS situation was pretty nasty, eh? Hey, Falcon, how's it going, buddy? Where the hell have you been? We're already an hour and a half into the show. Everybody give a warm welcome to Falcon. So, let's get into this, the second half of her statement here. I mean, she did a whole video. There's a whole, interview. But these are the ones that are the most important. And this is what I pulled out. You know what I mean? -0, welcome. And he's saying, which means that an Xbox will for the first time will support VR. I think you're right. King Webb agrees with you. I think you're right. So if that's worth it for you, like for example, let's take King Webb and -0. If you guys go out there and spend let's just say for argument's sake, I don't know, let's pull out a name. $1,000. Okay, $1,000 for a next-gen console. Done. All right, there you go, $1,000. Maybe more, whatever. Could be more, could be less, but let's use the current price as our as our goal here. All right, so let's say $1,000. If you get your Xbox games, Game Pass, Play Anywhere games, and Game Pass, and you get to play PlayStation games from Steam or whatever that you can download or buy, or you know what I mean, get access to those games, and you get VR. If that's worth it for you, that's fantastic. And you know what? Honestly, that actually sounds pretty damn good. I'm not going to lie. The only thing that's going to get in the way of all that is the price. And the reason why I'm going to say that is because it's not worth it. Don't twist what I'm saying here. I'm not saying that it's not worth it. It is. You're going to get a high-end experience, great components, excellent performance, plus everything I had just mentioned, access to VR, Steam, the Windows Store, and all that stuff, Game Pass, and PlayStation games. Delayed PlayStation games, not day ones. Right? PC, PlayStation games. You're going to get all that stuff. That's wonderful. However, not everybody has $1,000 lying around to buy that. So you have to face the realities of the situation. So we're not saying on a fundamental level that it's not worth it. I think it absolutely is worth it. The problem is a lot of people do not have that money. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't have that money. It's just a fact. There's no point arguing with that. You can't argue with people. What are you going to argue with people who can't afford it? That's pretty fucking stupid, don't you think? You know what I mean?
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown. I amuse you.
It's not funny.
Make you laugh. I'm here to fucking amuse you. How the fuck am I funny? What the
Yeah, you know what I mean?
fuck is so funny about me? Tell me. Tell me what's funny.
You can't argue with... The guy says, I can't afford it. So this is what I want to break down now. This is what I want to talk about before we end the show tonight. Yeah, crazy cats. Yeah, you're right. Paper route. Yeah. The thing is, this is what I want to talk about now, is when you get into that price point, you're locking a lot of people out. Okay? So, for example, you have to look at like the player bases of almost every console. 85% of that, 80 to 85% of those customers are casual. Casual people will not go out and spend that kind of money. They will not do it. They're not going to go out and spend that kind of money to play their Call of Duty and their Madden, or their Call of Duty and their NHL, or their Call of Duty and their whatever the hell FIFA's called now, Football Club. I know as a fact. They're not going to go out there and spend that kind of money. Now, if you look at it in Canada, for example. Okay. I'll tell you about the ROG Ally X here. Okay. The ROG Ally X in Canada. And by the way, our cost of living is way higher than the U.S. So when people say, oh, well, your dollar's not worth as much. Not only is our dollar not worth as much, but our cost of living is almost double. Up here. We have one of the highest costs of living on the planet. It is fucking ridiculous. But it is what it is. The ROG Ally X in Canada, Ontario specifically, is $1,582. The carrying case is $150 here. I saw my buddy, my dear friend, Mr. Boomstick XL. I watched his unboxing video. Go check out his unboxing video. It's actually quite nice. Go check it out. Go support my friend. And Mr. Boomstick did an unboxing of the stuff that he had there on the table, and he was all excited, and I'm happy for him. I actually haven't reached out to him and asked him what he thought about it so far. I know Everborn Saga bought a couple of units as well, and whatever. I haven't spoken to those boys. I'm going to ask them and say, hey, guys, now that you're a week in, how you enjoying the product? Are you liking it and this and that or whatever? And I want to hear their feedback. Anyways, getting back to Boom's video, I was watching the video, and I saw all the stuff that he had on the table there, and he was like unboxing stuff, and he was all excited. It was like Christmas morning to watch. It was fun. But I took all those things and I plugged it in, and then I transferred it to, or changed it. I like plugged in the numbers of how much it cost, US dollars, changed it to Canadian, then put the Ontario tax on top of it. What Boom had on his table that he was unboxing was $2,000 friggin' dollars. The controller, the ROG Ally, he had the controller on there. He had the ROG X and the carrying case and some other stuff. It was $2,000. What's up, Ish? Mark Morgan is in the house. Hello, Mark Morgan.
Tonight's the night.
Sorry, I'm doing a little bit of Trinity Killer for you.
Again.
Mark Morgan, it's a great name. You sound like a superhero. No, this sounds like it's not whether he got the stuff sent to him or not. I actually don't know. But that's not what I'm talking. But it doesn't matter. I'm talking about the stuff that he had there, right? That he unboxed for that video. Up here in Canada is $2,000, right? No casuals paying $2,000 to play video games. I will bet you my balls on that. No one's going to spend $2,000 to play video games. Casuals. Hear my words correctly. They will not do it. You think my Call of Duty buddies, who I hang out with and drink beer and shit, they play NHL in the garage because they got an Xbox in the garage? One of them has a PlayStation in there. They're just like, smoking and drinking in their garage, playing some NHL with their buddies. You think that guy's going to buy a $2,000 fucking console?
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like...
I mean, not $2,000 console, but I mean like $2,000 worth of accessories.
Funny? What the fuck is...
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying a $2,000 console. I'm saying like a $2,000 worth of stuff. Do you think they're going to buy all that to play video games? No. Even $300 are like, it's a little much, but, maybe I'll wait for a sale, or maybe I'll get the Series S or something when it first came out. Right? That kind of thing. They're not going to spend thousands to game. They're not going to do it. The hardcore will. Right? And Boom fits in the category of the 5% of the hardcore. He's the 5% of the ultra hardcore that will go out and do that stuff. He's been doing that since, like, I mean, he used to tell me stories when he was a police officer. He used to take extra shifts, right? He used to do overtime shifts as a police officer when he was part of the NYPD, and he would do those overtime shifts so that he could buy more video games and stuff, right? So he is part of that group. He's part of that group of the hardcore that will go out and buy all that stuff. But that does not translate to the other 85% of people out there, nor does that even translate to the 10% of other hardcore out there. Because I can tell you right now, a lot of people DM me. I get DMs, hundreds of DMs a day. I try to answer them all. But, you know, I get all kinds of DMs every single day. Literally hundreds. And a lot of people out there are like, Meg, I like, this is getting to a point where I can't afford this. You know what I'm saying? And they're worried about it. And I'm like, listen, man, guys, I'm like, you know, chill. There'll always be options out there for you. I said, it may not be the best option or the most premium option. I said, but there'll always be options for you to game. And I said, what do you have right now? You got your PS5, you got your series consoles, whatever you got your PC, you're still good. You're still going to be good for like 4 or 5 years, maybe even more. So like, don't sweat it right now. It's not going to, like, you know what I mean? They're not going to hammer you over the head and like kick you in the balls immediately saying, oh, you got to spend $1,000, otherwise you're not gaming anymore. It's not that. These are just options that are out there for the more premium experience. However, like I said, Xbox will continue to support the series consoles. You'll be able to access cloud and other which ways and whatever else. You can play on smart TVs and your monitors and all that stuff without a console. When I bought this new monitor, that's exactly what it did. That's exactly what it said. It said right on there when I turned the damn thing on, it's a Samsung. I turned the damn thing on, it says, play Xbox games, no console required. There you go. Right? As long as you got a monitor and a controller and an internet connection, you could play Xbox right there. So there's always going to be options. But if you want that premium experience, you're going to have to pay for it. So that being the case, going back to what Sarah Bond had said, she's clearly projecting that this is going to be a very premium experience for a very small group of people, just like they had told me in the spring, 10 to 12 million is their projection for next-gen console sales. I don't know over how long. Once again, I don't know how long. But it's making sense now. You get it now? So they're going to have that premium experience out there for people to be able to purchase. Just like you have the handheld premium experience now with the ROG Ally X. That is a premium handheld experience, but it comes at a cost. It comes at a cost that the majority of people will not, maybe they can afford, but they will not go out there and spend that. So, you know what I'm saying? It's all making sense now is what I'm trying to get at. I'm going to make a video about this tomorrow morning because I'm going to sleep on these thoughts, let them marinate, and then I'm going to release a video about her interview there, and I will do that video first thing in the morning tomorrow. So keep your eyes out open for that. And I'm going to drop my thoughts in that video as well. And like I said, I'm going to sleep on it and really absorb the information. Arrow Nation, a member for 1 month, top tier maggot, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to hell.
He's saying, thank you very much, Arrow Nation, being a top tier maggot. He's saying we're seeing the age of subsidizing. Die? You're going to have to explain that to me. The consumers will pay the difference now and going forward. Yes. Dude, thank you very much, Arrow Nation. Greatly appreciate it. Being a member for Top Tier Maggot for 1 month. Thank you for the support, brother. By the way, Arrow Nation is one of 2 gentlemen that actually helped me buy Chronos for the channel. And of course, I streamed the whole game on here. So thank you very much for that. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That's always been it's always been a thing with some companies, like Apple, for example. They don't subsidize shit, and they charge you for that experience. You want that premium experience, or you want this and that, whatever. You want the power, you want the cool phone. You're gonna pay through the nose for it. That's just the way it is. You want a $3,000 VR headset, you're gonna pay for it. They're not taking a loss. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Ish? How you doing? And we got a $10 super chat as well. From Jeffrey Garcia, thank you so much, my brother. And he says, well, you have a good night, Mag. About to clock into work soon. See y'all maggots later. Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you, Jeffrey Garcia. I really appreciate the support, brother.
And fight, maggot.
That's right, maggots. Get in there and fight, baby. Thank you guys so much for all the support, man. You guys are amazing. You guys are amazing. Oh, yeah, Sabina's Finest is asking me something in the chat. He goes, the chat has to know who gets more X DMs, you or your Instagram model neighbor cat like meow. Her account, I think, is set to private, so the only people who can message her are her friends, which I can message her because I obviously know her. I leave my DMs open for the most part, so yeah. No, you guys get people hit me all the time, like on Xbox, on PlayStation, and on Twitter. So I get all kinds of DMs all the time. So, and like I said, I try to get back to everybody. Sometimes it takes a week, sometimes it takes a few days, but I always go back there and I'm like, oh shit, he asked me a question, let me get in there. And so, you know what I mean? Tuggernaut! Oh, Jets fan for life, dude. I am so sorry. I am so sorry that you were enduring the kind of season you're dealing with. Dude, that is so rough.
Listen. Fuck up. Get out.
God damn it, the Jets are not doing great this year, man. I'm sorry, buddy. That's all I'm going to say. I'm sorry. The Bills are fucking lost the last 2 games in a row, too. But at least my Jays are in the World Series. Oh, Brandon Christensen, don't worry. That's coming. He says, Mag, make a shirt so I can buy it. Don't worry, buddy. That's part of the initiative moving forward. It's all going to be happening. And we have shirts made up. Swag. You can, like, all kinds of stuff is happening on this channel. But it's all happening, like I said, bit at a time as I grow, and I'm like I said, I'm building a solid foundation. I'm not just gonna verbal diarrhea all of my plans in one shot. I'm gonna do it slowly and build it up properly. So that's the plan. So Brandon Christensen, absolutely, there'll be merch available on the channel. There'll be a storefront here. Street is in the house. How you doing, buddy? WB, we're going to sit back on that one for a bit. I've heard some stories. I've heard some things from some investors talking to me about what's going on with WB. And I've heard of some interested parties looking into them. Otacon, how you doing? All right, fine. I'll tell you one. You get one. You know, like Michael? Okay, I'll tell you one before we close out the show. All right? So let's wrap up this, by the way, let's wrap up this talk about Xbox here. I think it's going to be a very exciting product. It's going to be very powerful. It's going to have a lot of features. Like I said, Steam, Windows, Game Pass, Play Anywhere, VR support. I think that's all going to be there, and it's going to be a beast of a fucking machine because it's not really a machine. I mean, it's a machine, but you know what I mean. It's going to be a powerful like PC kind of thing, right? So that's going to be. So that's great. No problems with any of that stuff. The only problems that they're going to have is who's going to buy it. And I don't mean that in a nasty way. I mean, who's going to buy it as in, like, not everybody's going to be able to spend that kind of cash. Because you know this thing's going to be damn expensive. But we're going to wrap up that topic with that. We got Danny Passion. I guess he's not driving anymore. I guess he got to his location safely. Thank you, Danny Passion. He drops a $2 super chat. Thank you, brother. And he says, problem is consoles, they aren't cutting edge anymore. Also facts. Magnum. Thank you so much, Danny Passion. Yes, they aren't cutting edge anymore because, well, you always got PC is always going to be way ahead of the game, right? Like, for example, you want a glimpse in the next generation consoles? They're already out on PC right now. You know what I mean? They're already there. The graphics cards and everything that they have now are what they're going to be utilizing in future consoles. That's just the way it goes. And if you're okay with that, that's totally fine too. I'm totally okay with that. I'm a console gamer. I have a PC that's capable of playing PC games, obviously, but I'm not interested. I just want to play on my console. Turn the damn thing on, sit down, play, whatever else. And it's just, whatever. It's just the way it's going to be. Thank you again, once again, Danny Passion. I really appreciate it. Brother, you've always been amazing. Alex is saying something in the chat here. Before we wrap up this topic, a couple, people are saying some great things. Grumpy old fart saying PC Master Race. Yeah, there you go. Alex is he's saying, Mag, for once, listen to me. $1,000 is a lot of cash, especially when Xbox once said that such a price tag wouldn't grow the market. You're absolutely correct. Phil Spencer said those exact words. He said those exact words. $1,000 consoles will not grow the market. They're not interested in growing the market. They want to keep the people. I told you, this new console is going to appease the people who are going to complain saying, I want my Xbox next generation and I want to be able to access my library and all this other stuff or whatever, they're going to have a solution for all that stuff. But that's what you're getting. If you don't like it, then there are other avenues. You can continue to keep your Series consoles. You could buy a PC or use an existing PC, or you could play in the cloud. Just because they're giving you an option doesn't mean it's going to be an affordable one or one that you like, unfortunately, and that really sucks. But you're not wrong, Alex. He did say that. And he says it probably makes sense that Asus determined pricing. Yes. Yes. Sergi, how you doing, buddy? So anyways, we're going to see. We're going to call this a developing story because this story will continue to develop over time, right? As we get more information. However, that information that we got today about what Sarah Bonnet said is obviously very telling as to exactly what you're going to get, right? And whether you like it or not, whatever. Listen, man, I can't, you know what I mean? I can't speak for everybody. I can only speak for me. Am I going to get it? I don't see any reason to get rid of my Series consoles right now. I have a PC. You know, I'm going to get a PlayStation 6 as well. I know I'm going to get that because my wife is going to get one. And, you know, and we, like I said, we game share and stuff like that. And we're all going to, you know, I'll trade in my PS5 Pro and get a PS6. She'll trade in her disc version of the PS5 and get a PS6. We'll continue to game share over there because she's 100% pony. So, you know. But we shall see. We shall see how it goes. I mean, I'm always a sucker for tech anyway, you know what I mean? I'm always a sucker for that stuff. However, not all the time. If it's something, like, I'm not stupid, though. Being a sucker is one thing, but, you know, but at the same time, I'm also not ridiculous. I don't just go out and randomly buy stuff that I don't touch. That doesn't make any sense. I do have some form of logic in this three-ring circus I call a head. But the ROG, I had no need. I'm not paying $1,600 for something I'm not going to use. I have a PS Portal upstairs collecting dust because I don't go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I don't go anywhere. Where am I going? I work close to home. And when I am home, I game here in this studio. This very studio. This is where I game. You can't see it, but behind this camera is where all my stuff is. I have my big monitor there. I got my consoles there, my PC under the desk. I game here. So when I'm gaming, I only game here. Why would I spend $1,600 on something I'm not going to spend? Or sorry, I'm not going to play. Doesn't make any sense to me, right? I don't travel much, right? I don't travel much, and I certainly don't travel for work. So for me, it doesn't make any sense. So, you know, that's just that. However, an actual console to get better tech, I mean, that makes a little bit more sense because that's something I would use in here. But we shall see. This is still 2 years away, guys. This is still 2 years away. So we don't even have to think about this right now. But I just thought it was very entertaining to look at what she said and say, hey, guys, I think we have a much clearer picture as to what's happening. And the funny thing is, I've been saying this for 2 years, that this is exactly what's going to happen. And it's literally playing out exactly as I said it was going to happen. I've been screaming about it since 2023. That is exactly what you're going to get next generation. And it's all fallen into place. G.I. Joe is in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. He's saying I travel a lot. Well, then maybe that's something that's worth it for you, brother. That might be something that you might look into. You can get like a ROG Ally X, you can get a Steam Deck, or you can get a Switch 2, whatever you're into, right? Like that would make sense. If you're traveling all the time, I would probably buy something like that because I'd be like, listen, man, I'm on the road all the time. I want something I can utilize because I'm spending more time on the road than I'm spending in my house. So that would make absolute sense. For me, makes no sense. Arrow Nation, thank you so much for stopping by, brother. He's saying, I got to bounce, but y'all have a great night. Thank you so much for the support and the member chat as well, brother. Appreciate you, man. I appreciate all of you. And I'm going to do the weatherman thing right now. Remember at the beginning of the show, I was talking shit about it? And I'm like, no, I'm going to do it now. Hit that like button. Or if you hate my guts, hit the down button. Hit the thumbs down button. You guys are the emperors of the arena. You are the emperors of the Coliseum. You know this? The emperor gives you the thumbs up or the thumbs down. Y'all have the power to do so. And I encourage you to do it. I'll tell you one nugget of information before we wrap up the show tonight. Oh, Crazy Kazi, thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. He's like, I like you, Mag. No way, thumbs up. Falcon, don't make me throw you out. Yeah, right off a cliff. Right off a cliff, Falcon. Kidding. Hey, Meat Puppet, you finally showed up at the end of the show. Good job. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Exactly. I'll give you one nugget of information. I had a pretty major investor. This is the guy, by the way, who told me days before the Xbox Game Pass announcement. He told me what was coming up. Oh, you're saying yes to the thumbs up. And here I was about to kick you off a cliff.
This is Sparta!
Yeah, that makes me the dummy. Makes me the dummy. Hey, man, dude, listen, man. I'm so destroyed from last night's baseball game and the party afterwards. Like, literally, we partied till 5 a.m. I just remember at one point, I literally poured half my drink down the sink before I passed out because I couldn't handle anymore. That should give you an idea of how rough of a night it was. It was insane. Meat Puppet. I've been busy playing in traffic with stupid people. Fantastic. Danny Passion is saying something interesting. He says, mark my words, PlayStation is doing the same thing too, like Xbox Watch and See. Well, we will watch and see. And I'm not saying that PlayStation is not. A lot of people like to do those whataboutisms, right? So when they say things like, when I say something like, hey, Dre, what's up? How you doing, buddy? Dr. Dre is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Dre is in the house.
Welcome to hell!
Except we're spelling it D-R-A-Y. Welcome to hell, buddy. We're just wrapping up the show, actually. We're at the 2-hour mark. Co-host ready. So, one of my major investor friends, associates I talk to, the WB thing he actually mentioned quite a while ago as being something that they were looking at because a lot of interested parties were checking them out and they were putting in offers even though they weren't officially saying that they were for sale. As a result of that, there are people talking and there are people reaching out. And one of them is Sony. Sony is looking at them. So if you want a little bit of inside baseball, as I wear my Blue Jay hat, Zaslav is all over this situation. Sony has approached them at one point and had talks. They didn't do anything. They just had talks. A lot of people misinterpret that shit as well. They just had talks. Talks mean nothing. It just means it's a preliminary thing. They're like, hey, just putting it out there. You know what I mean? Sony had some talks about getting into WB and then looking into picking up a lot of their gaming division IP and stuff like that, and then making it exclusive for PlayStation. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying it was a talk. Noisy Mofo, it's not even, it says Sony doesn't have the money. They do have the money. They don't have that much money, but they can buy in, part and parcel. So if they're interested, let's say on the Hollywood side of things, they would get in that. Hollywood side of things is actually where most of their bread and butter is because they're also with Discovery, right? However, if you look at the gaming side of things, infinitely cheaper. So that's something that you never know. I'm not, like I said, not saying it's happening, but as you hear about this WB stuff going on, and it's starting to make news now, it's starting to get out there in the world that people are talking about the interest of what's going on about selling parts of WB and all that kind of stuff, is that Sony at some point has been an interested, and maybe they still are, I'm not sure, but they have been an interested party, shall we say. So anyways, we shall see how that's all going to work out. As like to buy the entire WB, unlikely. Maybe to get in on some of that IP stuff. Maybe. But again, we don't know, and that's not fact. So I'm not saying that's a fact. I'm just saying that they were one of the interested parties. As Zaslav has already said, we've had several people approach us and look at us and talk to us or whatever else, and that's what spurred on a lot of talk about selling, right? Because they're looking at it as a great deal. And they're like, you know what? We can all walk away with a shitload of money and then let WB be somebody else's problem, whether it's WB Digital, like the gaming side of things, or whether it's the, maybe, you know what? Maybe Microsoft approached them as well. However unlikely, because they took on a heavy burden with ABK and Bethesda. I don't think that, I mean, they have the money to do it, but I also don't think that they're in the position right now to do it. And I can absolutely tell you the FTC would have a field day with them right now, especially with like downsizing, closing studios, shutting down games, layoffs. More layoffs are coming. You know what I mean? Raising prices. They're going to eat them alive if it ever got to that. So I don't think that Microsoft is, they may be interested, but I don't think that they would have a chance, especially with Lena Khan has come out of the thing and said, I tried to tell you guys, you know, all this shit was going down or whatever. And, you know, she's doing what she's doing. I don't think Microsoft would have a chance, to be quite honest. Sony, yes. Epic, that's another one. Maybe more Saudi investment. Maybe Apple. Maybe Google. These are all these are all companies that have the money, the power, and the know-how to do this kind of thing. So they're all possibilities. But I know that one of them for sure that was an interested party. Doesn't mean anything. There's no basis to it. It doesn't really hold that much water. But one of the interested parties that did approach them was Sony themselves. So I thought that was very interesting. I thought you guys should know that. So anyways, either way, I think we're going to wrap it up, folks. I think we talked about a lot of great stuff tonight. We had a great show. I can't believe my voice held on for this long. It's absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, Serenity, smart move. He says, I'm glad I sold my WB stock after they split from AT&T. There you go. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much. We had great numbers tonight. Absolutely great numbers. Great people coming by. Great chat going on. A lot of positivity, even though we talked about some things that weren't positive all the time. Yeah, you know. But it is what it's going to be, right? That's just how it goes. But either way, we had a great show tonight, guys. Thank you guys all for tuning in. I'm going to drop a video tomorrow morning, so keep an eye out for that. And I will let you guys know what's going on tomorrow with the streaming. I will be streaming tomorrow at some point. I just don't know what I'm going to stream. I think I may just go in there and finish up Silent Hill 2 and just finish it. So I might do that. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. We got it. We got two people who have nailed it. These are the true insiders, ladies and gentlemen. We got G.I. Joe. He is saying that Colt and myself are buying WB. That is a fact. And as a result of that, we're actually creating, with the IP, now that we own Lord of the Rings, I will be playing the new Aragorn, and of course, Colt Eastwood will be the new Gollum. That is a fact. Thank you. Ali, thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. Oh, and Fuzzy Tomatoes saying that Tim Dog is buying WB. That is also true, ladies and gentlemen. Tim Dog is buying WB. You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first. Well, thank you guys again. Let me see. Sleeping Dogs. Nice, Brandon. Crazy Kazzy saying this Chronos good, Mag. It is very good. It is also very hard. So pause. But be prepared for how difficult that game is. You know what I mean? It's a difficult game. And look at that. My moderator out there, Magnum, he's saying, great chat as always. Yes, they are. Magnum, you got the easiest job in the world because we have the most chill people in the world watching the show, man. Even if things get heated once in a while, everybody's pretty like level-headed, man. And I think that this is a great thing. I think we as a community, and what I mean by we, I mean me and you guys who are out there, and you obviously talk to each other and whatever else. And even like the channel member Discord. By the way, if you're a channel member, go to the Discord, all capitals, the space mag show. Go there. The link should already be in the YouTube title. I know some people have been having problems with that, but that's not a mag thing. That's a YouTube thing. I don't know what the hell their problem is. But the link is there. It should be like automatically when you become a channel member, it automatically puts you into the Discord. You just have to find the Discord. That's all. But it's the Mag Show. Magnum, he's like, Mag, don't let Colt make everything woke. Are you kidding me? That'll never happen.
Listen. Fuck up. Get out.
Cyber Gunter, listen, man. I know you're a channel member, but I'm going to have to remove your membership for saying shit like, let's go Dodgers.
You call yourself a man? You know you're a lying, low-life, motherfucking degenerate prick. You know that's what you are?
Cyber Gunter, that's exactly what you are. I'm just kidding, buddy. Love you, man. Thanks for stopping by, Cyber Gunter. And, of course, thanks for being a channel member. So, yeah, listen. I think what we're going to do... is we're going to stream Silent Hill 2 tomorrow. I think that we're going to do that. I'd like to finish that game tomorrow. And then what we can do from there is... I don't know what time I'm going to do it, but I'll do it at some time in the evening. We'll figure life out. And maybe, just maybe... we could start, hopefully, God willing, we could start Little Nightmares 3 on Thursday. And then we could play it throughout the weekend. Like Thursday into the weekend or whatever else. I can't do it Saturday. Saturday, I'm not going to be online at all. It's my son's birthday, and he's having a sleepover with all his friends. And they're going to be down in the basement here where my studio is. Obviously, this door is going to be locked. But I can't do it if I've got, 8 13-year-olds all screaming and watching horror movies in the dark in the next area, and I'm over here. Like, I can't do it. So Saturday's completely out of the question. But certainly, I could do like Thursday, Friday, Sunday. I don't know. I can figure all that out. We can get into Little Nightmares 3. We could play that. I heard it's not a super long game anyway, so we can... I mean, the other ones are an indication of that. I mean, my 10-year-old daughter finished Little Nightmares 1 in 2 days, right? So there's that. So we're going to do that. And then, of course, on the week of Halloween, we will start Silent Hill F. I'll get that all loaded up and ready to go, and we will be doing that. Street is saying XNC is tomorrow? Colt never told me anything. Well, I have to check it out. I'm going to have to check it out. Maybe I'll have to readjust, because if XNC is on tomorrow, I will still stream, but I'll just do it earlier. I'll do it earlier in the day. So we'll figure that out. Let me talk to Colt, and then I'm going to put up a post on my channel. Of course, you guys can all see that there, and I'll tell you exactly what's going on. As soon as the show is over, I'm going to call Colt, and then I'll find out what his plan is for tomorrow. But I did not see it. So he might have put a post up like while I was doing the show here, and I didn't check it out. So either way, I will post something on the channel tomorrow, and I'll let you know exactly what time we'll be streaming. And then if XNC is indeed tomorrow night, then I will do this. I will do the streaming earlier in the day. So we'll do that. But anyways, enough of that nonsense. We got to go. Oh, Snow Dragon saying it is on tomorrow. God damn it, Colt, you didn't tell me. All he did was message me saying, were you hungover? And I'm like, of course I was hungover. It's brutal. Oh, he posted on X. I didn't see it. Maybe he didn't put my name in there. Jesus Christ, Noisy Mofo. You put have a good life, everyone. Where are you going? Where are you going?
Listen. Fuck up. Get out.
What do you mean have a good life? I'm assuming you meant have a good night. I was going to say, Noisy Mofo, you're not leaving. You're staying right here. You're stuck here. Anyways, everybody have yourself a great night. Stay magnificent. We'll talk to you guys all tomorrow. Check out my channel. I'll put up a post. I'm also going to be putting up a video in the morning as well. All right? It's going to be a busy day for the mag on YouTube. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you for all the support. I love you all. Stay positive. Have fun gaming. We'll talk to you all tomorrow. Bye now.